What's going on, guys? Just back with another quick video. Now, as some of you know, I've mentioned it before, I currently live in South America, in Paraguay. So it's important for me to obviously know the language. Moving to South America, that was the number one thing or one of the first things that I basically put at the top of my mind was learning the language so that I can get around, so that I can communicate, so that I could speak with people without having any problems. Now, I was learning Spanish almost a year before I even left Australia, maybe even more than that, maybe even 18 months. So my level was like, okay, right? Now, as you guys are aware, when you move to Latin America, most of the countries here, you've got Bolivia here, Argentina, Uruguay, Chile, uh, Peru, Ecuador, Colombia, Venezuela, Panama, Costa Rica, Nicaragua, uh, Guatemala, Mexico, Dominican Republic, Cuba, Puerto Rico. All of these places all speak Spanish. So it's super important that you know Spanish if you're moving to a Latin America country, if you're moving to a country in South America, or even most of Central America, right? Now, I am almost 2 years into my Spanish journey. My Spanish is pretty decent. I recently, some of you may know, went to Brazil just for a bit, for a week. Me and my friend Brock went to Rio, and we stayed in Rio. Now, in Brazil, they speak Portuguese. So we got there, we were useless. Again, we couldn't speak, we couldn't talk to staff, we couldn't talk to people in supermarkets. I felt really, really useless. So that prompted me to go, fuck it, I'm going to learn Portuguese, right? And the reason I wanted to make this video is because I saw something on Twitter the other day where someone was like, well, if you're not going to go on frequent trips to Brazil, it doesn't really matter. Now, the reason I want to make this video is because realistically, I thought about what he said there and it does matter. And the reason it matters and the reason I'm showing you this map is because look how many states are in Brazil, right? If you look at the size of Bolivia, Paraguay, Argentina is huge, Chile is huge. But if you look at the sheer size of Brazil, there are so many states within Brazil. Each of these is basically like a country in itself, right? Brazil is massive. So look, if you're going to come to Latin America for a bit of time, you're going to, stay here for a couple of years, whatever, you probably don't need it. However, if you're going to stay here and be, living in South America, being an expat in South America for long periods of time, even just going to Brazil for like 2 weeks and being a 5 out of 10 in the language is worth your while because look at the size of it. Not only that, there are so many places to visit in Brazil. You've got the north of Brazil, south of Brazil, Sao Paulo, Belo Horizonte, Curitiba, Rio, obviously, Florianopolis, places like that. Part of the Amazon's in there as well. I mean, I personally wouldn't go there, but like people are interested in that stuff. So it is important if you are going to stay here long term. You probably should get a decent base level of Portuguese under your belt. And the reason being is because when you go there and you can't communicate, Portuguese and Spanish is very similar. They can understand what you're saying more or less. But there are some places where you ask them, hey, like, do you speak Spanish? Do you understand Spanish? And they just go, kind of, right? And even so, because you are learning the language of Spanish as your second language, you can't understand what they're saying in Portuguese because you're not used to it at all. So I just wanted to make this quick video and just kind of give you your guys' opinion on that and kind of show you my opinion on that and just show you guys on a map like the sheer size of Brazil and why it actually makes sense because there's different states, right? A friend of mine said that to me the other day. It's like basically a country of itself and it makes so much sense. There's so many places. It takes up like half of the continent. Like it makes sense to get at least to a base level so you can freaking communicate with a taxi driver, right? Cool, guys. If you're asking me what I would recommend to start a base in either Spanish or Portuguese or any language, I'd recommend the app Busu. Now, Busu is a great first level, first base. It teaches you the importances and the real basic day-to-day conversation, verbs and nouns. It's way better than Duolingo. And the reason it's better than Duolingo is because Duolingo is very like things that you're never going to use. Like my sister has an apple in the fridge. I'm never going to use that in conversation, so I don't need it. I need to know how to say hello, goodbye, thank you, can I have the bill? So I would start with Busu and then work your way into Pimsleur, which is a little bit more listening practice. So any of you guys are looking at studying a language, I definitely recommend those two, specifically Spanish and Portuguese. Hope that video was helpful, guys. I know it was a quick one, but I just kind of wanted to give you guys my opinion on that because, like I said, like I saw someone on Twitter the other day mention, hey, like it's not necessary unless you're going to go on frequent trips to Brazil. But if you're staying here long term, it's so necessary to have it, especially because there's so many places you can visit in Brazil. You might as well. You've done Spanish. You're 80% of the way there. There's so many countries here that speak Spanish. You might as well just spend an extra 6 to 8 months learning Portuguese. Get to at least a 5 out of 10. If you've got that base level in Spanish already, it won't be a hard transition, and that way it just it unlocks so many more places that you can visit and have a better experience because you speak the language. Cool, guys. See you on the next one.